is the NBA on NBC. The 1997 NBA playoffs. Today, it's the Phoenix Suns versus the Seattle Sonics.
We welcome you to the Pacific Northwest, an eclectic game day scene here at Key Arena in Seattle. The Sonics hoping to make their second straight trip to the NBA Finals. Today, the fifth and final game of the first round Western Conference Series between the Suns and the Sonics. As you can hear, a wild scene here at Key Arena. Hi, everybody. Marv Albert along with Matt Dukas. And Matt, it's a familiar story for the Sonics. A 57-win regular season, yet in danger of being eliminated in the first round by the 7th seed, the Phoenix Suns, who have gone through a regular season that had its ups and downs. They finished 2 games under the 500 mark. They do finish strong. And today, a game that may well come down to the matchup of 2 of the best guards in the NBA in Gary Payton and Kevin Johnson.
Well, both teams revolve around their very talented point guards. First of all, Gary Payton, the great defender, has been filling it up, dishing the ball out, hitting the boards, and played in all 53 minutes in a Game 4 Ironman performance. Kevin Johnson is sharing the ball handling duties with Jason Kidd, so his assists are down a bit, and Kevin is shooting just under 30% in this series. That is alarming. And Mark, whichever player has the big game today will lead his team into Houston come Monday night.
All right, so the season is on the line for Seattle and Phoenix. We'll be back in a moment with the introduction of the starting lineups.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Miller Lite, who reminds you that anything can happen at Miller time. By Reebok, helping athletes perform at the top of their game. And by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately?
A beautiful 55-degree day here in Seattle. And the usual capacity crowd, better than 17,000 on hand. Well, the Sonics have outscored the Suns by a considerable margin in the first quarter. The previous 4 games of this series, certainly a concern of Phoenix coach Danny Ainge. So he is going to the smaller lineup, which includes Wesley Person, who made only 42 starts during the regular season. And we are set for the introduction of those starting lineups. Let's go to the public address voice here at Key Arena, Jim Gracie.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Game 5 of Round 1 of the NBA Western Conference Playoffs between the Phoenix Suns and your Seattle Supersonics. And now for today's starting lineups. First of all, for the visiting Phoenix Suns. A 6'4" guard from California, number 32, Jason Kidd. A 6'1" guard from California, number 7, Kevin Johnson. A 6'11" center from Tulane University, number 18, John Williams. A 6'4" forward from Kentucky, number 3, Wes Chapman. And a 6'6" forward from Auburn, number 11, Wesley Person. And the head coach for the Phoenix Suns, Danny Ainge. A 6'4" guard from Oregon State, number 20, Gary Payton. 6'3" guard from Bradley University, number 33, Percy Hawkins. A 6'9" center from DePaul, number 34, Terry Thomas. 6'10" forward from the University of Washington, number 11, Detlef Schrempf. And a 6'10" forward from Indiana's Concord High School, number 40, Sean Kemp. And the head coach for your Seattle Supersonics, George Karl.
Well, this building always rocks with the introduction of the Seattle Sonics as you look at George Karl, the 45-year-old head coach out of Penn Hills, Pennsylvania. As always, we are joined on the sidelines by the dean, Ahmad Rashad. Let's check in with Ahmad.
All right, thanks, Marv. I spoke with Kevin Johnson just before the game, and he says they're ready to go. He realizes that they could have closed this series out the other night when they lost in overtime, but he says they've gotten over that. And the reason that they have so much confidence is that they have won here twice in the last month and feel like they can do it again. He also told me that this is the best situation in sports for any athlete, winner take all, and he likes their chances. Marv?
Thanks, Ahmad. And going into game 4, Thursday night, Kevin Johnson was a question mark with a sprained ankle. Played 50 minutes, 23 points, 11 assists. And the Phoenix Suns are going to the 4-guard alignment right at the start.
Well, this has really come as no surprise to George Karl. It has been speculated mainly because the Suns have gotten off to very poor starts in each of the first quarters of the first 4 games, and they can't afford to use all that energy to work and get back when they go to the bench. So they know how important it is to stay in the game in this very, very loud building.
The officials, Hugh Evans, Hugh Hollins, and Jack Neese. It is game 5 of this opening round, Western Conference Series. The winner advancing to play Houston in round 2. Rockets looking to avenge that 4-0 sweep by the Sonics last year. And of course, the Phoenix-Houston matchup would mean Charles Barkley going against his former team, the Phoenix Suns. So the Suns control the opening tip. Jason Kidd posting up. And here's Wesley Person for 3. Sean Kemp with the rebound. Gary Payton played all 53 minutes of the overtime the other night. Here's Terry Cummings. Sonics with a 2-0 lead.
Well, right away, Seattle spots the mismatch. Terry Cummings at 6'9", a good turnaround jump shooter from that area. Works against 6'6" Wesley Person.
Rex Chapman, one of the Phoenix heroes during regulation the other night. For Jason Kidd, again, he turns it back out to Person. A 3 for Wesley Person.
Well, you have to question that strategy right off the bat. Jason Kidd, who's been struggling as far as shooting the ball, posting up one of the best defenders in the business, Gary Payton, and they get to come down and double team and leave Person wide open on 2 occasions.
And the pass broken up and stolen by Person. Kemp is back. Person goes right at him.
Well, the little fake there by Sean Kemp made Person think about it. A wise play by Kemp, who normally gets himself into foul trouble at some point in the game, wisely backed off there.
Open shot for Kemp. Set up by the double on Detlef Schrempf. Sonics with a 4-3 lead. Sean Kemp, 24 points, and an equal to career-high 20 rebounds the other night. And it will be Phoenix ball.
Well, right away, Jason Kidd looked at Rex Chapman and said, my fault, I didn't protect you as the passer. He let Payton get around on him. But also, Rex Chapman has to wait for Jason Kidd to establish some kind of post position.
Person, Wesley Person in the starting lineup, has scored all 5 Phoenix points. Suns 5 and the Sonics 4 with 2 minutes gone by. Here's Payton. Interesting matchup between Peyton and Jason Kidd, both growing up in the Oakland area. In fact, Kidd idolized Peyton. Kevin Johnson got the step. So the Suns with a 1-point lead. And back comes Hersey Hawkins as the Suns did not get back on the transition. Hawkins beating Kemp. Sonics now lead by 1.
Well, this is what gives coaches ulcers when they in such an important game and they see the opponent getting layups. You just don't want to give up layups in an important game like this, or really any time.
Again, Person was open. Hot Rod Williams off the rebound, stopped by Jerry Cummings. Hawkins pops it down. Here's Peyton putting the move on. Rebounded by Cummings. Peyton for 3. And Jason Kidd able to get to it. So the Suns and the Sonics opening up at the quick pace. 3 minutes gone by. Johnson, yes, Kevin Johnson. And the Suns lead by 1.
Kevin Johnson shooting just 29% in this series, well below his norm. Has to have a good shooting game for the Suns today.
Good ball movement, and Schrempf took it to the basket. Well, Detlef Schrempf has been off his game. The feeling is he's been bothered by a sore knee. He missed 17 games late in the regular season because of a torn tendon in his foot, and he's had difficulty making moves the way he usually does. Hawkins leading Peyton, picked off by Johnson. Try to set it up for Kidd. Person got the step on Kemp, threw up a wild shot, and a foul is called. Loose ball foul against Seattle.
Well, from the very get-go, Wesley Person getting the start and getting all kinds of scoring opportunities. Shawn Kemp at 6'10" has the initial responsibility of trying to keep his eye on the smaller person, but what Shawn Kemp has been doing is leaving the double team, getting in the lane, trying to help out, and it has left Person open for a number of shots.
And it was Kemp called for that foul. Sonics 10, Suns 9. Rex Chapman. What a series for Rex Chapman. He has proven to be an outstanding free agent signing. Suns getting the maximum out of a guy who's making the NBA minimum. Schrempf got the step. So the Sonics recapture the lead by 1.
And Seattle just getting easy basket after easy basket by taking the ball to the basket, overpowering the smaller Suns.
Johnson played by Hawkins. Able to slice his way through to set it up. Person. And last touch by Person. So the Suns give it right back. Seattle Sonics went 57-25 during the regular season. 5th straight year that they wound up with more than 55 victories. Beautiful move by Peyton. And then the rebound was stolen by Kidd. Has a 3-on-2. Chapman for 3. Yes, Rex Chapman. And the Suns take the lead, 14-12.
Well, Seattle realizes every time they go inside for a post position, they're going to get a double team. And this is the kind of shot like that. They don't want it to go in, but they would rather the Sonics be taking those perimeter shots and get into a jump shooting contest. But for the most part, Seattle stayed away from that, taking the ball to the basket.
Fast start for Detlef Schrempf. He's hit all 3 of his shot attempts. Sonics by 1, 6:28 remaining in this first quarter.
Can the Magic...
Well, the Phoenix Suns going with small ball right away to stay in this game, and they have done that. And the size advantage looks a lot bigger out on the floor, but when you look at the numbers, it's only a couple of inches. Look at the matchups there, and the tough one so far has been Shawn Kemp watching Person, but here, Detlef Schrempf at 6'10", who has trouble guarding people on the perimeter, now playing a very hot player in Rex Chapman, using screens very well. It's been a tough cover for Schrempf throughout this series.
Detlef Schrempf at the offensive end has scored the last 7 points for Seattle. This is the first game of the series that Seattle has not jumped off to the big lead. Up by 1. We're halfway through the first quarter. Kemp putting the move on Williams. Danny Ainge remaining the same with the four-guard alignment. The only big man is Hot Rod Williams. Chapman with the runner. And the rebound handled by Kent. Trent stopped by Johnson. Here's Perkins, who just checked in. Sam Perkins has become a factor. George Karl has had trouble getting him on the floor because of the matchups, but Perkins has been hitting the shot from downtown.
At 16 in Game 4, it looked like he was really going to struggle this series, but George Karl said, I'm not going to give up on him. He's our guy.
Sonics with an 18-14 advantage. 5:20 remaining in this opening quarter. Marv Albert, Matt Gukas, and Ahmad Rashad from Seattle. Trent off the head fake. Hawkins with some big shots down the stretch in Game 4. Trent with the shot clock running down. And Hawkins keeps it alive. Yes, the count.
Well, there's a lot of good things that you can get out of the small ball. You can get a lot of good ball movement, a lot of open shots. But this is where you can really get hurt on the offensive boards of Seattle. As only 6'3", Hersey Hawkins sneaking in on Kevin Johnson to get that second opportunity and a possible three-point play.
Kevin Johnson called for the foul. Hawkins able to complete the three-point play. Sonics with a 7-point lead. Just under 5 minutes left in the first. Johnson. Nice setup for Williams. Hot Rod Williams taking the pass on the hop from Kevin Johnson.
Well, both teams not just settling for jump shot, and that's key when there's so much scrambling and double team going on. You have to exploit driving opportunities to the hole.
Hawkins to the crossover, getting it to Trent. Sonics lead 23-16.
Once again, good patience by Seattle, just not taking the first shot that shows, looking, and finally getting a little draw and kick.
And Detlef Schrempf, who has been quiet, leads the way with 9. Jason Kidd, who's been quiet, hits the 3. And the Sonics have a 4-point lead. Payton with the running hook. And here comes Kidd accelerating. Johnson. And Hawkins had it stripped, but deflected out by Person of Phoenix. Well, you look back at what has taken place in this series in the first quarter, where the Sonics have usually been able to get off to substantial leads. Different story here thus far. Just the 4-point spread for the Sonics.
Oh, it's almost like Danny Ainge was trying to buy some time with Wayman Tisdale as a starter. It just didn't work.
Oh, he's filling it. Then left Schrempf for 3. 12 points for Schrempf. Sonics lead 26-19. Chapman on a quick release. Good hustle by Sabalos, who just checked in, and it was knocked out of bounds by Payton, who disagrees with the call, and Hugh Hollins able to settle things down.
Cedric Sabalos, who got off to a poor start in this series, has really picked it up, has given the Suns a burst of energy anytime he has stepped out on the floor, in particular in that area, hustling after some loose balls and offensive rebounds. That ball did go off, said Sabalos.
Yes, you could understand the feelings of Gary Payton. David Wingate has checked in for the first time. He's been getting additional playing time because of the injury suffered by Nate McMillan, who is dressed, but it's a question mark as to whether he will play. Wingate called for the foul. Nate McMillan, who's been hard hit by injuries in recent years, out with a muscle tear in his leg. There's Nate. George Karl always saying that the Sonics particularly miss his rebounding help. One of the best rebounding guards in the league. Also, the leadership. He's one of the inspirational players on this Sonic team. Just under 3 minutes remaining in the first quarter. Johnson trying to split his way through, then set it up. Chapman for 3. Williams on the rebound and foul. Apparently a traveling violation. He's called for steps, and he comes up hobbling. He'll be back in a moment.
It definitely feels like it showed.
Detlef Schrempf has the tough job of guarding the smaller Rex Chapman at the defensive end, but is he ever mixing it up at the offensive end? Drives to the basket, the open three-point shooter, as he seems to be making terrific decisions so far as the catalyst for the Suns, and has also handed out a couple of nice passes. You see the inside shot, the 2 threes by Detlef Schrempf. At 6'10", he's a tough cover for anybody on the Suns, but what Seattle is doing, by so much double teaming, they're leaving people wide open, and Schrempf has been the beneficiary.
2:43 remaining in this first quarter. Sonics 26 and the Suns 19. Seattle shooting very well here at the start. 11 for 17. Mark Bryant has come on for the first time, as has Danny Manning. So Danny Ainge going with a bigger unit now. Schrempf played by Bryant. Perkins off the fake. That's a two-pointer. Sam Perkins with 5 points. And the Sonics have now opened up a 9-point lead.
You know what's interesting about this first quarter so far? It's a very nice pace for Seattle. Gary Payton, who played all 53 minutes in game for 4, has not had to extend himself so far in this first quarter. Detlef Schrempf has taken over a lot of the ball handling duties, even though Gary Payton does have 4 assists, but a nice even tempo for Payton, who figures to play a lot of minutes today.
Manning and the opening. Danny Manning able to connect on his first field goal attempt. Sonics 28, Suns 21. Now Payton handling against Kidd. They double up on Kemp. Open shot for Wingate. Gives it right back. Kemp again facing now triple team. So Wingate takes the 3.
Well, that is overkill to come down with 3 players, but a nice kick out by Sean Kemp, who made sure that David Wingate is the one player that the Suns want to see shoot those perimeter shots. Just 1 for 7 in game 4.
Biggest lead of the game. 10-point margin for Seattle. Line backdoor attack picked off by Perkins, but he deflected it off the backboard, which is considered out of bounds. So there are 3 seconds remaining on the 24. Now they adjust it to 4, and Phoenix maintains possession. Now the official scorer checking with Hugh Hollins. Suns now have a backcourt of Kidd and Johnson. Up front, it's Manning with Sabalos and Bryant.
All of a sudden, small ball is resting as this lead is starting to grow for Seattle, as Danny Ainge now going with a more conventional lineup. And when Manning and Sabalos have come into the game, they generally give a spark.
They need the quick shot. Bryant off the fake. Sabalos able to keep it alive. And last touch by the Suns. Been a quick-paced, fast-moving first quarter because of the lack of foul calls. Only 1 on Phoenix, 2 on Seattle. Here's Johnson. Air ball fielded by Kemp. Coming up on 1 minute left in the first quarter. Open opportunity. David Wingate left alone. Sonics by 10.
Well, the Suns have hurt themselves with just wild, crazy double teaming and getting too many easy shots.
Schrempf able to tear it out of the hands of Bryant. Now Payton digging. Sets up Perkins. And Wingate comes down with the rebound. 35 seconds left in the quarter. Schrempf one-on-one against Johnson. Nice ball movement. Wingate passed on the shot. And now we get a 3-second call. 3-second violation.
Well, Detlef Schrempf had the smaller Kevin Johnson on him. He waved Sean Kemp out of there, saying, let me take Kevin Johnson in there and make him work defensively. And yet, Schrempf did not force the shot. Got into the lane, saw somebody else had a better opportunity, and kept the ball moving. And that's been key for Seattle in this first quarter. They were playing very unselfishly.
Substitutions for the Sonics. Greg Graham also has been seeing some playing time recently. Checks in. Here's Hersey Hawkins. Some shuffling with 24 seconds to go in the first quarter. George Karl trying to get some rest for his starters, also trying to preserve the foul situation. Danny Ainge did not like the wholesale substitution. Felt that the Sonics may have snuck an extra one in, and apparently he's correct, because Hugh Evans over to the bench, and they are retrieving Terry Cummings. He has to return. That substitution not allowed, and then Perkins sits down, although I don't think that really should satisfy the Suns. But apparently Ainge is accepting.
Well, George Karl very much concerned, especially with his older players, Detlef Schrempf, Terry Cummings, and Sam Perkins, with all the minutes that they played the other night.
Sonics by 12. They've had an exceptional shooting first quarter, 14 of 21 from the field. And Phoenix now holding for a final shot of the quarter. Johnson for Kidd. Off the ball, that crowd wanted to travel. Johnson has to fire. Here's Person. Yes, it counts. Wesley Person able to make the catch while in midair and release the shot and hit.
How about the move by Jason Kidd with a ball fake? But how about the presence of mind of Wesley Person, aware of the time on the clock, knowing he had to catch and shoot in just one motion.
After one, Sonics by 10. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Hey, Max. Why just sit around when you could have fun in the new Ford Escort ZX2?
Nowhere to run to, baby. Nowhere to hide. Everywhere I go, your face I see. Every step I take, you take with me. Nowhere to run to, baby. Nowhere to hide.
Ford Escort ZX2. Grab life by the wheel.
Max? Nowhere to hide.
If it were a guy's world, this would be a career goal. And you'd always be cool. But in the real world, guys sweat. So stay cool with Speed Stick Gel. No other gel keeps you drier or more protected. Speed Stick Gel. It's just for the guys.
What does it take for an airline to close a deal these days? Teamwork. Planners, schedulers, finance guys, you name it, you'll need it. But if you work for British Airways, you don't need to fly everyone in. You bring them together with the help of IBM. You see, IBM's GroupWare solution helps the airline sales force bring the whole team to the table. If IBM did it for them, they can probably do it for you.
Mystic Mango Mania is the color of nerve. Nerve, the color of letting the inside out. The color of not taking it back. So, what are your colors? Show your colors, Mystic.
By nature, dolphins know how to have fun. By nature, man does not. We looked at these two realities and did something about it. Sea-Doo. Everybody's doing it.
You're watching the NBA on NBC. The 1997 NBA playoffs.
Well, David Wingate trying to take on the role with Nate McMillan, not able to play, has been shooting the ball very poorly throughout this series and has been the man that Phoenix does not mind leaving alone. But when you knock down a three like that and move without the ball when the double team occurs, David Wingate making a nice contribution for Seattle.
And you see the bench production of the Sonics in the first quarter. So the Sonics end up with a commanding lead after one. Up by 10. That pattern has continued. Second quarter underway. Payton. That is his second field goal. Sonics down 8:35-23. And Danny Ainge back with a Kidd along with Person. But the three big men up front, Manning with Bryant, Sabatos, Wesley Person knocking down at 3. He has 10 points. Sonics lead by 9.
A pet play for the Suns coming out of timeout, starting quarter. Start something on one side of the floor, get a little bump for a shooter on the other side, and a good look for Wesley Person.
Perkins posting up. It counts and the foul. It's on Bryant. Well, Sam Perkins a factor here in the first half. He now has 7, and he's headed to the line.
Sam Perkins can get you on the outside, being a three-point threat, and also has the low post game, this time against a bigger man, Mark Bryant at 6'10". Sam just taking the bump, falling back. Big Smooth looks smooth so far in Game 5.
One-time Los Angeles Laker. Spent 2+ years with L.A., then traded to Seattle in the deal involving Benoit Benjamin and Doug Christie. 13th NBA season out of North Carolina. Sam, 35 years old, going on 36. Still a valuable player. Sonics lead by 11 with 1 minute gone by in the second quarter. Now Kidd being played by Cummings. Sabatos guarded by Wingate, shoots over him. Rebounded by Perkins. Payton with the hesitation move and took it all the way.
Oh, just a little raise up, fake handoff to Wingate, and then put on the afterburners to just go to the basket.
Sonics have a 13-point lead. This Game 5, the finale of this best-of-5 series. Winner will move on to face the Houston Rockets in the second round. Game 1 at the Summit on Monday night. The Sonics with a 13-point lead, looking sharp in this first half. Payton for 3. Sonics 4 of 8 from three-point range. Suns 4 for 11. Here's Kidd. Jason Kidd with his second field goal. Look at the transition by Seattle. No hesitation trying to catch the Suns at the other end. Sonics lead 39-28. Kidd out of control, had it knocked away. Wingate 3-on-1. Nice ball movement. Payton can't finish. And back comes Kidd. Person for 3. And it will be a jump ball. Cummings and Kidd tie it up. Timeout is called. 9:25 remaining in this first half.
The change of pace, fake handoff, and fools Jason Kidd almost out of the building as Gary Payton gets to the basket.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by IBM, solutions for a small planet. By Acura, the true definition of luxury. Yours. And by the owners, managers, and crew who proudly call the McDonald's in your neighborhood My McDonald's.
Welcome back to Seattle, Washington. Sonics with an 11-point lead, 9:25 remaining in the second quarter. Well, the Utah Jazz are headed to the second round of the NBA playoffs. They'll play Game 1 against the Lakers tomorrow in Salt Lake City. But basketball isn't the only thing on Karl Malone's mind these days. On NBA.com, the official website of the league, the ultimate power forward MVP candidate, better known as the E-Mailman, hosting his own interactive column. Very clever play on words. The E-Mailman. Question of the week every Wednesday. Carl selects his favorite responses from fans around the world, so you can let him know what you think about his latest topic. Get connected to the E-Mailman, only on NBA.com. Off the tie-up. Tap controlled by the Sonics.
And Karl Malone may be more than an MVP candidate by a number of newspaper accounts where a lot of the voters have been polled. It looks like Karl Malone will be the MVP this year.
Payton off the drive was hacked. Rare foul call in this first half. It's on Jason Kidd. So Payton to the line.
Well, the Suns defensively have had their problems getting close enough to anybody to commit a foul.
Yes.
With all the double teaming, all the scrambling, they're either giving up the open perimeter shot or wide open inside layups. And they just can't afford to do that, especially when they're struggling so much at the offensive end, as Danny Ainge just cannot find a hot hand so far in this first half.
Gary Payton played all 53 minutes in Game 4, 28 points, 14 assists. Adds to that Seattle lead. They're up now 41-28. Danny Manning with his second field goal, and the Sonics now lead by 11. Manning at 19 points, 10 rebounds in Game 4, but he fouled out late in regulation. Payton. And here comes Kidd, 3-on-2 for the Suns. Rick Chapman is back in. Thought he had the move, but Perkins was right there to close the lane. Manning, good defensive sequence by the Sonics.
Such a contrast between Western Conference defense and Eastern Conference. In the East, you very rarely get any kind of penetration to the basket because defense on the dribble is so much tougher and more physical. In the West, you can get in there pretty easily whenever you want to.
Foul on Manning is first. Matt, I'd have to say this is the loudest building when it comes to cheering at the defensive end for the home team.
Well, I remember very well back in June during the finals against Chicago in games 4 and 5. I don't remember being able to hear for about a week after that. This building was rocking.
So Terry Cummings at the free throw line in his 15th season out of DePaul. He was signed as a free agent back in mid-January. Terry Cummings goes back to 1983, the NBA Rookie of the Year. Started only 3 times during the regular season.
And he has supplanted Jim McIlvaine, who got a number of starts throughout the year. Jim McIlvaine's type of game, and he's only about a 17-minute player anyway, certainly does not fit against the Suns. But if Seattle were able to move on and play Houston, I'm sure Jim McIlvaine would get some meaningful playing time against Hakeem Olajuwon.
McIlvaine to this point has played only 6 minutes in one game in this series. That has been it. Foul called on Cummings. There's McIlvaine. There it is, just 6 minutes. Jim McIlvaine signed as a free agent, that 7-year, $30 million deal, which certainly raised some eyebrows around the NBA.
Well, Mark, you look at that graphic, guy can score 7 points in 6 minutes.
Right. Strong move by Person. And the Sonics with an 11-point lead.
And I'm sure George Karl has had to answer that question about 50 or 60 times in this week and a half period.
Kemp with the mismatch. Played by Kidd. Payton for 3. Air ball. He's claiming that it was either deflected or he was hit.
Gary Payton has been brilliant from beyond the arc in this series, coming in 15 for 34, 44%. That's outstanding because Gary Payton on the season about 32%, but the ones he shot today have been bricks.
Oh, Manning with the spin to beat Kemp. And the Suns showing some signs. They've cut it to a 9-point lead. The Sonics, after the hot start, have missed their last 5 shot attempts. 5 minutes gone by, second quarter. Seattle spreading it out. Here's the double on Kemp. Illegal defense. Called for the first time. Apparently a foul called on Manning. We'll be right back.
Tonight, the motion picture blockbuster becomes an NBC event. Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, interviewed with the vampire. NBC tonight.
Well, Danny Manning has provided a spark and some solid play for the Suns coming off the bench. Nothing spectacular with Danny's game, but just does everything well. Shoots the ball, passes, solid defender, gets some rebounds, block a couple of shots. And Danny Manning got 77 games in this year. Came back last season after his second ACL. big game on Thursday night, 19 points and 10 rebounds. But Danny is always going to give you good play and solid statistics.
Yes, Manning making it back from the torn ligament of the left knee. Spent much time on the injured list past 2 years. The steal by Johnson. Wesley Person trying to put moves on Terry Cummings. Suns back to the 4-guard alignment, as they like to say, playing small ball. The lone big man is Danny Manning. Shot clock down to 5. Kidd with 3 on the 24. That left Schrep has had the hot hand, being played by Rex Chapman. Percy Hawkins for 3. And Kidd able to get to the rebound on the box out. Here's Johnson putting the speed on. And last touch by Hawkins.
Well, so far, the guards and Kevin Johnson still struggling from the field. Jason Kidd has not taken that many shots. Rex Chapman unable to get it going. And Wesley Person getting a lot of shot attempts, but just can't get into a rhythm.
Person trying to hand it to Manning and lost contact with the ball and kicked it out. Wesley Person, you mentioned taking a lot of shot attempts. How about 12 shots hoisted already in this first half? 5 of 12. He does have 12 points.
Well, he is a shooting guard, and his job, shoot the ball when he's open.
And Jack Neese, the outside official, calling an offensive foul. It is on Cummings.
Well, Seattle has lost their edge offensively over the last 4 or 5 minutes. In the early part of the game, they were moving the ball, making the extra pass, getting high percentage shots. Lately, they've been getting double teamed, one pass out of it, and taking the first shot that shows and not making it.
Chapman couldn't shake off Schrep. Manning with Schrep going down. Crowd looking for a foul. No call made. And the Sonics now lead by 7. Reminder, coming up at halftime, a chronicle of Michael Jordan's dazzling display last Sunday night. The remarkable 55-point game to beat the Washington Bullets. Percy Hawkins extends to a 9-point Seattle lead. How about Michael Jordan after the game apologizing for getting away from Tex Winter's triangle philosophy? Tex did accept the apology.
I wonder how many times he's made that apology over the 9-year period that he has broken off that offense.
Payton for 3. Seattle by 12. 11 points for Payton. 5 of 11 from 3-point range for the Sonics. Offensive foul. It is on Chapman.
Well, Detlef Schrempf on a play a couple of sequences ago tried to take the charge on Danny Manning and fell backwards. Didn't get the call. But a veteran like Detlef Schrempf said, hey, I'll give it another shot. Maybe the referee was in some doubt on the last one. Gave him the call there.
Kemp. And Johnson not able to hang on.
Sean Kemp has been almost passive in this first half. It looked like he came out of this game worried about getting into foul trouble. He's always got to be somewhat concerned with turnovers. He gives the ball away a lot. He's just not into his game yet. Just playing on the perimeter, not into it.
2 of 4 from the field. He has only 1 personal foul. Payton. And Kemp with the rebound, and he is fouled by Bryant. Well, Sean Kemp very much into it in that sequence.
And that's how you do it, Mark. You just can't float on the perimeter and hope something comes your way when you got the kind of talent that Kemp has. So you take advantage of penetration by Gary Payton, who can get in there, and all the defense converges on the ball handler, and that leaves an opening for a big 6'10" man that can clean up on the glass.
He was 13 of 16 at the line in the overtime victory on Thursday. What an effort by the Sonics. So often you'll see a team crushed in circumstances. Rex Chapman hitting that unbelievable shot to tie the game at the end of the regulation, but the Sonics able to handle it in overtime and went on to the 1-game 122-115 win. Seattle, after going cold, has run off 7 unanswered, and they lead by 14 with just under 4 minutes left. First half. Mark Bryant. That is his first field goal. Mark Bryant has spent 7 years with Portland, a year with Houston, and then moved on to Phoenix in the deal involving Charles Barkley. Here's Hawkins. Perkins on the box out. Well, we're seeing the big lineup of Seattle now taking advantage of the small lineup of Phoenix.
Well, 2 quick passes out of the double team will get you a good shot and has the defense all out of sorts, and that gives offensive rebounding opportunities.
Foul committed by Detlef Schrempf. That is his first. And the second team foul committed by the Sonics.
On the last possession, Phoenix went inside to Mark Bryant, who has a nice post game rolling into the middle, and Sean Kemp just backed off and let him shoot it. Maybe Phoenix should go look in there one more time.
Good job by Schrempf on Chapman. Won't count. Foul before the shot attempt. And a timeout has been taken. Perkins called for the foul. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Time report. We'll look back at Michael Jordan's virtuoso performance last Sunday against the Bullets when he scored 55 points in Game 2 of that series. We'll also check in on the Jazz and Lakers, who begin their Western Conference semifinal series tomorrow in Salt Lake City. Right now in Seattle, the Sonics lead the Suns by 14 as we send you back to Marv Albert, Matt Gukas, and Ahmad Rashad. And Marv, you'll enjoy that feature film on Jordan because you do have a supporting role.
All right, thank you, Dan. I think Dan's spending too much time around Mike Fratello, which can be very harmful. 2:59 remaining in this first half. A look at the leading scorers. Wesley Person with 12. Top man for the Suns, Detlef Schrempf with 12, and Gary Payton with 11. Phoenix ball as we resume following the timeout. Schrempf has done an excellent job in keeping the ball away from Chapman. Manning putting moves on Perkins. And Schrempf with the rebound.
And one of the reasons for that is Rex Chapman is not moving that well. He has some back problems. He's not moving off the ball, which is really where Detlef Schrempf would struggle.
Here's Kemp. Kemp with the rebound. And the foul. Reminder, tomorrow the NBA playoffs will continue as NBC presents a triple header starting with Showtime at 12 noon Eastern and then 2 Game 5s back-to-back. First, Penny Hardaway and the Magic have battled back against Alonzo Mourning of the Heat to even the series and force this deciding game. Pat Riley and the Heat have it all on the line against the Orlando Magic, and then Detroit and Atlanta square off to conclude their series. The winner there will go on to face the Chicago Bulls, and in prime time will be in Salt Lake City. The Los Angeles Lakers and Shaquille O'Neal traveling to Utah, going up against Karl Malone. John Stockton and the Jazz as their conference semifinal begins. Matt, was Orlando motivated by humiliation?
I don't think so. They were about to be blown out of Game 3. Ronnie Cycling went out with about 6 minutes to go. Here's the steal, and the rail to go. Oh!
Excellent play-by-play by Matt Gukas.
I got caught up in the moment, Mark.
And the foul is called on Chapman.
Well, anytime Sean Kemp gets in the open floor, you can almost expect something spectacular, but tremendous hustle by Rex Chapman, bearing down from behind to break up that play. Got a lot of ball on it. I was about to say, Mark, the Magic were down 14. Ronnie Cycling got hurt. They went down 16, and it has not been the same since because now Penny Hardaway has to take over, and he has done it and has gotten a lot of help from Darryl Armstrong.
What a turnaround by Penny Hardaway. A look at Sean Kemp. This season averaged just under 19, 10 rebounds in the series, raising it up to 22.5 and 15 rebounds per game. Kent with 20 the other night that equaled a career high. Sonics now lead 55-38. You look at the Miami-Orlando series waiting in the wings for the winner. The New York Knicks, who come off the sweep of the Charlotte Hornets. Shot clock at 5. Bryant called for a traveling violation. Second timeout taken by the Sonics. Standing ovation for the Sonics off a 12-2 run for a 17-point lead. A look at what has taken place over the first 4 games of this series. Game 1 to Phoenix, 106-101. Rex Chapman lighting it up, 42 points. Sean Kemp, 19 points, 15 rebounds. Game 2, Seattle came back with a 122-78 rout led by Gary Payton. Look at the fast break points. Game 3, Phoenix does it, 110-103. Person, 29 points, 10 rebounds. Payton with 34 points. And then the overtime thriller this past Thursday, despite that last-second incredible shot by Rex Chapman. Sonics able to settle down and win it in OT.
And for the most part, Seattle has done it with balance, scoring in every other which way. And the Phoenix Suns looks like they need somebody to get the hot hand. They got it in Game 1 from Rex Chapman with the 42. In Game 3 from Wesley Person with the 29. They can't find it here in Game 5 yet.
That number 3 committed by Manning. And once again, the Sonics to the line. They're 10 of 12 at the line. The Suns' next free throw will be their first.
Kevin Johnson is such a crucial part of the offense for Phoenix. He is 2 for 9 so far. He has to establish his offensive game. Here you see the long career of Sam Perkins with 3 different teams, 110 playoff game. But Kevin Johnson has to be a scoring threat himself to get the defense to honor him, and then he can become a playmaker, kicking out to open three-point shooters because the Suns have to get the threes.
And the Suns being crushed here in the second quarter. Well, Kevin Johnson fouled. A 14-2 run by the Sonics. Foul committed by Kemp. And for the first time, Phoenix to the line. Kevin Johnson will shoot 2.
And it was obvious that time Kevin really wasn't so much concerned about making that shot. He wanted to get in the scoring column a little bit more, and the best way to do that is to get to the foul line. Remember, Kevin Johnson is playing on a sore ankle, played a ton of minutes, 50 minutes the other night. There's his Suns rankings for playoffs. What, is that all? Number 1 and everything.
The guy's been very hard hit by injuries. Sidelined for chunks of last season. The ovation is for Sean Kemp as George Karl has pulled him for a respite. And the question concerning Kevin Johnson is this: should the Suns lose his finale, or even if they advance, and it will take quite a turn as Hersey Hawkins extends to a 59-40 lead. Kevin Johnson has been talking retirement, despite the fact that he has had a terrific season.
Marty was telling me yesterday how much he has enjoyed this year, the turnaround after being 0-13 in the beginning of the year, but all the players on this team and how well they get along, the chemistry that they've had, the success they've had late in the season, giving Seattle a good run in this playoffs, but it has still not changed his mind yet. He's had some talk with Jerry Colangelo. Danny Ainge thinks he might come back, and so far, Kevin Johnson has not said one way or the other.
Foul on Hawkins, putting Chapman at the line. Kevin Johnson on Showtime earlier in a chat with Ahmad Rashad said basically that eventually during the offseason he will confirm the retirement, indicating that there has not been a change of heart. Sonics by 18. Payton. And the tip by Perkins. Seattle 61, Phoenix 41. 50 seconds left in the half. Last touch by Ceballos.
Well, a deadly combination going on right now for Phoenix. Very poor defense, giving easy shots now and doing absolutely nothing at the offensive end.
They double up on Perkins. Again, the opening for Shrimp. Oh, Cummings with the steal and the save. Chapman knocked it away. Hawkins with the recovery, but goes off the mark. And with 25 and 3/10 seconds to go in this first half, it will be Phoenix back in possession.
What a sequence, and what an unlikely Hersey Hawkins pass. Usually so sound, basic, and fundamental. Pumped in the air, over his ear, and out of bounds.
And they're on their feet at Key Arena as we come up on 10 seconds left in the half. Johnson with the pull-up. Final seconds of the half. Payton looking to get it off. And a foul with 0.5 of a second remaining in this first half. And that is number 4 on Danny Manning.
Substitution for Seattle, number 25, Dave and Wingate. Wingate replacing
Danny Ainge has seen the Seattle Sonics go off on an 18-5 run, closing out this first half. A 20-point Seattle lead. This is not what Danny had in mind for a 5th and final game of the series.
Omar, we were saying earlier how important this huge crowd and a very loud crowd that gets behind this team can be. You just can't rely on that, and I don't think the Sonics have. The crowd has gotten into it, but it's the Sonics that have gotten them into it. And early in the game, it was Detlef Schrempf controlling things at the offensive end, and now Gary Payton making the right decision.
Payton, 12 points, 5 assists. 63-41, and that will do it for the half. Again, standing ovation for the Sonics. They lead by 22. Stay tuned for Dan Hicks and the Prudential Halftime Report. It's coming up after these messages.
So I pull into this gas station.
Oh, classic oversqueeze. Watch this.
This is the station for breaking news coverage. The news station, 7 News.
It's at an early time. We're gonna do this. The Pretender, a hitman. People will die to save a life. How far can this pretending go? Then, in 2 weeks, the discovery of an evil pretender, Jared's brother. All new Pretender, tonight on the NBC Saturday Trilogy.
Welcome back to Key Arena in Seattle. Marv Albert with Matt Gukas and Ahmad Rashad. 22-point lead for the Sonics in this, the 5th and final game of the series. A big run by Seattle end of the first half, 20-5. Also, the 4-guard offensive alignment for the Phoenix Suns obviously not working as we take a look at the middle light halftime statistics. The Sonics shooting well, just under 54% from the field, spending much time at the foul line. And Sam Perkins doing the job off the bench.
Coming off the bench, going 5 for 7, did it with the 3-point shot, also did it inside, and that's just what George Karl needed from him. And there, the 2-point field goal percentage for the Suns, struggling from the field at 40%, and the big key, just 4 for 12 in threes. And this man, Kevin Johnson, way too many jumpers there for Kevin. He has to establish his driving game, get to the basket, get to the free throw line.
Kevin Johnson now shooting 28% for the series, 20 of 71 overall. Seattle with a commanding lead as we head to the second half.
Ahmad Rashad back at Key Arena. I just talked to both coaches. Danny Ainge, trying to get his team fired up, told his team that 20 points is not insurmountable, but they got to play tougher defense, stop giving up the easy points. Now, George Karl told his team that he's broken it down into quarters. They won the first 2 quarters. They want to try to win the 3rd and 4th. But one thing he wanted them to be aware of, to look out for the trap. He liked the way they were passing the ball, which ended up in a lot of easy shots. They want to keep doing that. Marv?
All right, thanks, Ahmad. Well, the Phoenix Suns have overcome impossible odds all season. And this series, a microcosm of the year They fell behind by 15 points. Game 3-1. They trailed by 13 Thursday night and recovered. Although the Sonics won it in overtime, but today down by 22 as this third quarter gets underway. Perhaps a bit much to ask for, but Wesley Person opens up by hitting a three, and the Sonics now lead 63-44. Here's Payton for three. And Chapman able to run it down, and his pass broken up, deflected out by Payton.
Well, there's that quick shot by the Sonics. Gary Payton, who did not shoot the ball well in the first half, just 4 for 14, but did everything else well. 5 assists, no turnovers, but the pass inside, the double team, one pass out and shot. That's how Phoenix can get back into this game.
And the Suns opening up with the four-guard alignment. Hot Rod Williams kept it alive. Johnson for three. Yes. Well, the Phoenix Suns have come out and hit 2 straight three-pointers.
They've extended their defense, picking up in the backcourt, trying to get Seattle out of any kind of rhythm. But sometimes Seattle will help you themselves with those quick shots.
Here's Cummings, blocked by Person. And it will be Seattle ball with 9 on the 24.
Don't bring that stuff in here against a little guard. Of course, Person is about 6'7". Terry Cummings at 6'9".
Detlef Schrempf on the back tap, kept alive. Hawkins and Payton opening up in the backcourt. Cummings, Kemp, and Schrempf on the front line. Here's Kemp. Oh, too strong, but recovered by Hawkins. And Kemp fires up a three. Kevin Johnson met by Hersey Hawkins. Johnson with Kidd and Person, and Chapman foul is called. Hugh Evans with the indication it's the second on Hawkins.
Kevin Johnson, who struggled from the field in that first half, is 2 for 10, but good ball movement. You finally get yourself into a little bit of rhythm. Get your feet hopping a little bit as Kevin Johnson still has to get to the basket.
Johnson, well, Kevin Johnson makes it an 8-0 run by the Suns. It's down to a 14-point Sonic lead. Here's the trap. Handled by the Sonics. Hawkins. And an offensive foul. Hersey Hawkins called for his third.
You can tell Seattle is somewhat ready for this trap, getting the ball into the middle, but then keep Hersey Hawkins with his head down, not seeing anybody in front of him, not seeing the defender, as the Phoenix Suns step in and get the charge.
And the enthusiastic greeting by the Suns bench as the timeout is called by George Karl.
Can the magical cup? The NBA on NBC is brought to you by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, who reminds you fresh beer tastes better. By AT&T, it's all within your reach. And by the all-new Wide Track Grand Prix by Pontiac. Wider is better.
Matt, I did want to mention to you it is opening day of the boating season here in Seattle, just to tie it all together for you.
Is that why you brought your rod and reel on this trip?
Absolutely.
Okay.
63-49, the Sonics with a 14-point lead, led by 22 at the half. The lead for Kidd, Jason Kidd on a beautiful lead from Rex Chapman. And the Suns have reeled off 10 unanswered. Here's the trap again. Kemp able to handle it. They double up on Kemp. Hawkins. Payton. Shot clock at 8. Phoenix was looking for a charge, but they get the ball on the steal. Johnson trying to turn Payton around and goes to the baby hook. Cummings gives it back out. Hawkins for three. And the Sonics in the midst of a drought. Jason Kidd all the way. It's down to a 10-point Seattle lead. Sonics have missed their last 7 shots.
Well, the Sonics have been known to become unraveled even here on this home floor with the supportive crowd. This time, take their time a little bit and get a good percentage shot for Terry Cummings.
Sonics lead 65-53. Rex Chapman from downtown. Rex Chapman now has 21 3-pointers in this 5-game series. That is a playoff record for a 5-game series. That's his second of the day. And it's now a 9-point lead. The call against Kemp, hooking the arm, offensive foul.
Actually, Sean Kemp looked confused when the ball went in the first time. No double team. He threw it back out to Payton. Gary wisely took his time right back into Kemp. No double team until Kemp put the ball on the floor. They have been expecting to get doubled, and that's when they get their open shot. So a little change up by Phoenix, and it's working.
The Suns have outscored the Sonics 15-2 here in the third. Johnson, yes! Make it 17-2. And the Suns pulling off the improbable again. They are now within 7. And we have not played 4 minutes yet of this third quarter. Kemp and a foul against the Suns.
Well, I'm amazed at what Kevin Johnson is doing. Shot the ball very poorly throughout this series. Here's a nice post-up, and Gary Payton fronting Kidd. They get the little alley-oop as Jason Kidd turns on the burners. He's outstanding in the open floor, especially when a body doesn't get up and try to stop him at the top of the key. But Kevin Johnson has come out the second half, continues to fire away jumpers, as this man is always ready to fire away from beyond the arc, as the Suns are not even worried about it. Anybody getting it hot in. Whoever has the ball, whoever has some daylight is going to let it fly.
Kevin Johnson with 7 of the 17 points by Phoenix here in the third quarter. And the foul on Shrimp. For Detlef, it is his second.
Smart play by Kevin Johnson. The last time the Suns ran that play when they got the switch and Shrimp backed off and gave Kevin the wide open jumper. This time they knew they'd get the switch again. Kevin Johnson just trying to get to the basket, draw a foul, get Seattle in the penalty.
And he aims back to the 4-guard offense, which has worked here at the start of the third quarter. Did not have success in the second quarter. Sonics led by as many as 22. Sean Kemp off the pass from Gary Payton. Sonics 69 and the Suns 58. Kemp has 13. Burson being guarded by Perkins. Here's Kidd for 3. Jason Kidd from downtown. And the Sonic lead is 8. Here comes the trap. Kidd laying back. Hawkins feeding Kemp. And the foul.
Sean Kemp working underneath the basket actually brought himself and his man over as here Detlef Schrempf had an opening, but it turns into an easy bucket for Seattle anyway. And then the defense of Phoenix really extended that time, trying to trap out at midcourt, and no way Jason Kidd could get back and get into the flow defensively as the Sonics handle that one well.
Hot Rod Williams called for the foul, his second. Kemp with 6 of the Sonics' 8 points in this third quarter. 10 points Seattle lead, and the Suns are on fire here in the third. Again, Kidd with a 3-pointer. He has 13. Sonics 71, and the Suns 64. Fifth and final game of this first-round series. The winner moves on to face the Houston Rockets. Game 1 at the Summit in Houston on Monday. Detlef Schrempf with 14 points. Sonics lead 73-64. 6:25 remaining. In the third, Johnson with the step and the bucket. Yes, and it counts. Kevin Johnson inspiring the Suns in this third quarter. Hawkins committing his 4th foul.
Well, Kevin Johnson has made a few from the outside, which has set this up. Percy Hawkins, who has done a reasonably good job on Kevin Johnson. It's a tough matchup for a bigger guard to try to keep the quick point guard Kevin Johnson out of the way, but it's the made perimeter shots which set up that drive for KJ.
Matt, how about the Suns? 25 points here in the third quarter in less than 6 minutes of play.
A number of the Sonics throughout this series said this Phoenix team reminds them a lot of themselves a couple of years ago. Very disruptive defensively, not particularly good. This is nowhere near as good as Seattle in that area. And then just wild and crazy at the offensive end.
The lead is down to 6. Nice pass from Schreck to center up for Payton. 15 from Payton. Sonics 75, the Suns 67. Johnson passed on the shot. Person in traffic, lost it. Now Payton pulls it back. Kemp played by Williams. And then the double with Kidd coming over to strip him. And it will be Phoenix ball. Last touch by Sean Kemp.
Oh, the big change that Phoenix made defensively to start this third quarter. Just don't come down and double team on the catch. Wait till one of those post players puts the ball on the floor, and for the most part, it's been effective.
Now they clear it out for Johnson. Put the nice move on Trent. Sean Kemp controlling the boards. Hawkins trying to finish the break. Kidd with the block, but the Sonics able to convert. Payton now has 17, and Seattle leads by 10. Now Johnson with a move on Payton. Johnson goes flying and a foul, and what a gorgeous move. Kevin Johnson going against one of the superb defensive players in the league. First a look at the follow by Payton at the other end.
There was a terrific block by Jason Kidd hustling back, but Seattle stays with it. That call was the foul was called on Gary Payton before Kevin Johnson got into the act of shooting.
Just under 5 minutes remaining, third quarter. No hesitation by Chapman. Chapman on the follow, and here's Kidd. Well, he had the shot, but he passed up. Hawkins broken up by Kidd. And Seattle maintains possession with 15 on the 24.
Well, these kinds of games almost take on a schoolyard mentality. Both teams just winging it, having fun, going up and down the floor, but the fun has to go out of it because this is obviously a very important game to move on to the second round.
Payton. And Person able to collar the rebound. Oh, Kidd saw the opening, but too strong as he tried to finish it off. The hesitation dribble by Kidd paid off, and then Hot Rod Williams fouled on the double team. Foul on Perkins, his second.
15 foul penalty.
Well, Jason Kidd, so clever in the open floor, actually used Sean Kemp as a screen on Hersey Hawkins, and then John Hot Rod Williams in all kinds of trouble here. Was just going to throw the ball out. He had a man, Kevin Johnson, here in midcourt. I don't think it would have made it. He got bailed out on the play.
15 fouls, so the Sonics over the limit. Hot Rod a 67% free throw shooter. Now Cedric Sabalos replacing Rex Chapman. Chapman with 9 points, 3 of 8 shooting. Cedric Sabalos, incidentally, able to bounce back in game 4, 16 points in 30 minutes after being hospitalized overnight following the third game of the series because of dehydration. Sonics lead 77-68 as we approach 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. What a pace to this third quarter. Shot clock at 7. And Kemp took a hit. Sabalos came over trying to bat the ball away, made contact.
John Williams at about 6'11", a very good defender, a good shot blocker, although he'll block most of those shots off the ball, but playing a tough customer, and Sean Kemp around the basket can handle him to some degree, but once Kemp is putting it on the floor, getting close to the basket, that's when all the help will come.
Payton able to slice his way. And Johnson on the run. Goes to the pull-up and gets the friendly roll. Sonics now lead 77-70. Kevin Johnson with 12 of the Suns' 29 points in the third quarter. Jason Kidd has 10 here in the third. Kemp. Well, Sean Kemp has picked it up in this third quarter, now 17 points, along with 8 rebounds. Sonics have a 9-point advantage. Johnson for 3. 3 minutes remaining in the third. Shrimp. And last touch by Hawkins, although the outside official, Jack Neese, saying no, perhaps a jump ball. We'll have to sort this out. Hugh Holland, Jack Neese.
With your hand. Yeah.
Sunday at noon Eastern, after 2 disheartening losses, Penny Hardaway's brought Orlando back from the brink with 2 40-plus point games. Now they go for one of the biggest upsets in NBA history. Can Penny and the little guys be giant killers a third straight time? Then it's Pistons, Hawks, and Lakers Jazz. Tripleheader Sunday on NBC.
On the last play, a disputed call is Jason Kidd and Hersey Hawkins going for the loose ball. And look at the foot of Jason Kidd out of bounds as he was touching the ball, but it's going to be ruled Phoenix ball as Jason Kidd, the officials felt, threw it off of Hersey Hawkins, but he was out of bounds originally.
Phoenix has outscored Seattle 29-16. In the third quarter, they have been able to get as close as 7 points. Right now, a 9-point Sonic lead. They led by 22 at the half. Kidd's pass deflected out with 14 on the 24. So the Suns have been able to come roaring back. Kevin Johnson and Jason Kidd have sparked the team in the third quarter. Suns have been roaring back throughout the season. They began at 0-13 under Cotton Fitzsimmons. They were 0-8. Then Danny Ainge took over, lost his first 5 games, but able to rally and finished at 40-42, 4th in the Pacific, 7th seed in the Western Conference, and have provided a handful for the Sonics in this opening round series. Payton for 3. Sabonis not able to handle that rebound. Payton recaptured. Kemp lost the dribble off his foot, but able to recover. Payton for 3 again. And rebounded by Person. And Seattle won for its last 12. That's a double dribble. So the ball back to Seattle.
Well, Wesley Person, in an effort to try to get the ball into the hands of Kevin Johnson, and a very smart play by Gary Payton to just fake at him and then fake towards Kevin Johnson and made Wesley Person double dribble.
Sonics just 5 of 18 from the field in the third quarter. We're just under 2 minutes remaining. Kemp forced it, came up with the air ball. Kemp off the double team, popped it up. Sonics with a 9-point lead. Minute and a half to go in the third. Here's Kidd. Pass misfired. Payton able to protect. Payton chased by Kidd. Payton all the way. And rebounded by Williams. Kevin Johnson with the roll. Oh, the steal by Johnson. Took it out of the hands of Perkins. Sabonis not able to locate the shot. Person does. Yes, a 3 for Wesley Person. And the Phoenix Suns are within 6.
Well, in some respects, Phoenix playing very recklessly there, but they had to get back into this ballgame. The sense of urgency is there. But one good thing Phoenix doing at the defensive end has the Sonics confused with the post-up, but they are not giving them second shot opportunities. That is key.
That left Shrep. Rebounded by Sean Kemp, and he's fouled.
Now Kevin Johnson pulling up, taking the quick jump shot. He realized it was off, saw the long rebound, and saw the taller Perkins, and felt he could get up and underneath him to knock that ball loose. And then Person using the screen well, going right to left to nail the 3.
18 points for Wesley Person in the starting lineup this afternoon. Sean Kemp, 7 of 9 at the line. Very successful at the line in Game 4. particularly down the stretch, 13 of 16 overall on Thursday night. Rex Chapman hearing it from the crowd. All he did was hit that circus shot at the end of regulation, and then earlier in the series, 42 points, 9 3-pointers.
Well, Rex was telling us before the game, he works on that runner shot, and he used to take it quite a bit in high school because he had bad ankle. 2-for-1 situation for Phoenix.
Kevin Johnson. Handled by Sean Kemp. 8-point Seattle lead. Down to 20 seconds to go in the third. Seattle's missed its last 7 shots. 2-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Payton, played by Ceballos. Payton got caught. Final seconds. Kidd checking the clock from half court. Pops it. Well, the Suns able to pull the turnaround here in the third, down by as many as 22. Sparked by Kevin Johnson and Jason Kidd. They trail by just 8. We're headed to the fourth quarter. You're watching the NBA on NBC.
Is what you do today.
Yeah,
Better buckle up.
BMW, the ultimate freedom machine.
Balanced nutrition for lasting energy. Power Bar. Power on.
Why the Vampire Obsession is coming alive tonight at 11.
After the National Basketball Association may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of the NBA.
Well, it's been small ball that has everybody talking with Danny Ainge's success with the Phoenix Suns. Kevin Johnson, Jason Kidd, big factors in getting Phoenix back in this game in the third quarter. Wesley Person on the boards, and Rex Chapman always a threat. And this is what they have done in this series so far, coming into game number 5. And here it is today, 12 points for Kevin Johnson in this third quarter, 10 of those 15 for Jason Kidd in the third. Rex Chapman still looking to get it going. And what a job Wesley Person has done defensively and on the defensive backboard.
Phoenix outscored Seattle in the third, 32-18. Both teams are now shooting at 45%. The Sonics have missed their last 8 shots. And certainly, as we discussed earlier on Showtime, on the minds of George Karl and the Sonics, although they advanced to the finals a year ago, this is a Sonic team that has been eliminated in the first round of the playoffs 2 of the past 3 years. So there is some pressure on this club in this game 5 of the series as Wesley Person hits another 3. It is down to an 81-76 lead. This is the closest the Suns have been able to come. Trailing by 22 at the half. Person with 21 points. And that is 4th three-pointer of the day. Here's Wingate for 3. David Wingate with his second from downtown. Able to answer the 3 from Person. Sonics 84. Suns 76 with a minute gone by in the fourth quarter. Person for 3. And Shrimp able to handle the rebound.
Wesley that time was a little too close. The last one he made was beyond the old three-point line.
Shrimp for 3. Yes. Sonics 87. The Suns 76. Sonics 7 of 20 from three-point range. Suns 11 for 24. And the decibel level way up once again here at Key Arena in Seattle. Chapman to the drive. Perkins with the rebound. Oh, person from the blind side looking for the steal. And Payton indicating, why doesn't somebody tell me?
And he wouldn't have heard them anyway. What an answer from the bench for George Karl. David Wingate hit a three earlier this game, had a strong first half, and then Detlef with another three. So the Phoenix Suns closed to win 5, and nobody found David Wingate again.
David Wingate off the inbound. Standing ovation for the Sonics, who now lead by 13. Phoenix calls for time.
Yeah, well, nobody was ready for the on the underneath out of bounds.
Good day. An announcer can make or break a beer commercial, eh?
Molson Golden.
Try it once without the beer. Next. I love the little laugh. Better not have long hair.
Oh. Molson Golden.
Be in touch with you.
Molson.
Next. Do you have a sister? Next. Is there anyone else out there?
No, I'm the last one.
Okay, you got the job. Do it, eh?
Molson Golden, the best there is, from Canada.
Miller Genuine Draft presents a classic moment of the NBA at 50.
And today we look back at a classic playoff game, Sonics and Suns, Game 7 of the 1993 Western Conference Finals. Eddie Johnson with 34 points for the Sonics, but Charles Barkley had all the answers, 44 points, a career playoff high, 24 rebounds as the Suns went on to a 123-110 victory, advancing to the NBA Finals. In recognition of this classic moment, Miller Beer will donate $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. Now bring on Chuck, referring to Charles Barkley and the Houston Rockets waiting in the wings for the winner here. Game 1 of the second round series at the Summit in Houston on Monday night. Sonics now lead 89-76. Able to settle down after the Phoenix rally. Nice pass. Jason Kidd for Wesley Person. And that stops the 8-0 run after Phoenix had cut the lead down to 5. 9.5 remaining in the fourth quarter, and the Sonics now have an 89-78 advantage. Marv Albert, Matt Gukas, and Ahmad Rashad from Key Arena in Seattle. Perkins looking for the mismatch. Staying with the four-guard alignment. Here's Johnson. Kevin Johnson had the hot hand of the third, but pumping from all angles. He's now 7 for 21.
Well, this is how the Suns got back into the ballgame, playing this recklessly, and they have to continue to do it. It's the only way they know how.
Payton again not able to hit the three-pointer. Johnson on the run, and again goes for the shot. Kevin Johnson now firing at will, and obviously he and Jason Kidd got him back into it, but you have to question the shot selection at this point.
Especially since Kevin has the ability to break his man down and get to the basket.
Nice play again, Wingate with the setup. Perkins with 15. David Wingate has come off the bench, getting additional playing time in the absence of the injured Nate McMillan, and Wingate has played well. Open shot for Manning for 3. And last touch by Hawkins.
Well, and a big confusing play with the crowd going wild. You can see that the Suns with their guard down as a substitution is taking place as Jordan Kemp walking out. He is going out there, but David Wingate is going to move up here and right to the basket as the Suns never really catch aware because the official, Hugh Hollins, handed the ball to the inbound passer, and they weren't ready for it.
As a result, the Phoenix Suns got suckered on that inbounds. Big play. Wingate was able to convert. Hawkins for three. Wingate with the rebound. Seattle with the ball, up by 13 points. And the outside official, Jack Neese, making the call against Phoenix. On Chapman, his third.
Well, one of the things George Karl was worried about coming into this ballgame was tired legs for Gary Payton, playing all 53 minutes in the overtime game 4 and has gone every minute of this one. But the Suns right now look like the tired team as Jason Kidd, Kevin Johnson, Wesley Person, and Chapman, all the guards, have played a lot of minutes at a hectic pace.
7.5 remaining in the fourth quarter. Seattle during the regular season 57-25, won the Pacific Division by 1 game over the Los Angeles Lakers. Schrempf, yes. So the Sonics lead 93-78. And Person cut off by Wingate, took the shoulder, the foul on David Wingate. That is his second. Phoenix Suns finish at 40-42 after opening up 0-13. They were 1-14 back in November. At one point, they lost 8 straight on the road, but finished strong, taking 19 of the last 23. 25 points for Person. That 19 of 23 run featured an 11-game win streak. They became the first team in NBA history to qualify for the playoffs after such a futile start. Here's Schrempf open for three. The Sonics have rebuilt to the enormous lead. Johnson, he's way off. Seattle by 16. Kevin Johnson has missed his last 8 shots.
Well, that's a problem, Rob, when one player tries to do it all by himself. You can understand where Kevin Johnson is coming from, but he has to get to the basket and involve his teammates some.
Suns are living and dying with Kevin Johnson. Meanwhile, Hersey Hawkins adds to the Seattle lead.
And you have another point guard on the floor in Jason Kidd.
And Johnson fouled. It's just one-on-one here with Kevin Johnson. This reminiscent of John Starks of the New York Knicks against the Houston Rockets in Game 7 several years back. Timeout called. 6:06 remaining. Fourth quarter.
When Dick, creator of the milk.
The NBA on NBC is brought to you by the 97 Mitsubishi Montero Sport, the smooth riding sport utility vehicle built for living. By Nike, who encourages you to participate in the lives of America's youth. And by Miller Genuine Draft, who reminds you it's time for better beer bread.
And back in Seattle with 6 minutes and 6 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. Wesley Person here in the fourth with all 7 Phoenix points. The Sonics getting 8 from Schrempf and 5 from Wingate.
Well, actually, Kevin Johnson, along with Jason Kidd, was mainly responsible for getting the Suns back into this game, getting within 5. But then Kevin really got carried away with himself, trying to do too much, taking too many perimeter shots, and really taking the life out of the Phoenix Suns.
He has the rest of his team standing around. He's missed his last 8 shots, goes right back to it, and missed the reverse. I tell you, if this is Kevin Johnson's finale, this not what he had in mind to go out like this. Wingate. 12 points, 7 rebounds for David Wingate. And the Sonics lead by 20. Chapman able to split through and went to the left hand. Sonics 100 and the Suns 82.
Well, the Sonics started out this ballgame being very patient and very smart with their offense, getting good shots. Had some valleys in the middle of this ballgame, but then have gotten back to it again, making sure on every possession that they get a good shot.
Kidd getting Just under 5 minutes to go in the fourth. Jason Kidd. A lot of one-on-one here in the fourth quarter on the part of the Phoenix Suns. This after they came roaring back. They cut it to a 5-point Seattle lead. Sonics led by 22 at the half. And then Seattle went on a 17-4 run after the Suns came within 5. Payton for 3. Gary Payton is only 6 of 25 from the field. Here's Chapman. That was a 3-point attempt. Schrempf came up with the loose ball. From Wild, end to end. And a timeout taken. Seattle calling for time.
Now that I'm teaching in the business, we're getting really close.
We're still not making any promises. Oh, watch out for that. But if you pass your driver's test, the car's yours.
Dad, you've been saying that since I was a baby.
Let's try to parallel park now.
Cool.
The 1997 Mitsubishi Galant. Reliability other cars only dream about. The Galant, Mirage, and Diamante. The family of sedans from Mitsubishi. Built for living.
Tonight, the motion picture blockbuster becomes a special NBC movie event.
I've come to answer your prayers.
Do not doubt! You are a killer! No! Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Antonio Banderas, and Christian Slater. Interview with the Vampire tonight on the NBC Saturday Night Movie.
Well, Kevin Johnson so instrumental in that third quarter comeback by Phoenix, but he's missed his last 8 shots, as we've been discussing. As you're well aware, Kevin has been saying that he will retire after this season. He says he will stick to that decision. We talked about that with Kevin Johnson.
When I told Jerry Colangelo 3 years ago that I'd probably retire after the 10th year in the league, I expected to be playing well at 31. I didn't think I'd be past my prime. I thought our team would probably have more regular season wins than we did this year, and you know, the hand that was dealt us this year was a little bit different. But I just felt more than anything it was just time to move on, and you know, all my energy this year is really focused on this season, and now more than anything is focused on one game and not what happens after that one game if we lose.
Well, Kevin Johnson has had a terrific season. He made reference to if we lose. David Wingate with another big shot, as you saw, with the shot clock running down. Rex Chapman back with a 3. And with 3.5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter, the Sonics lead the Suns 105-87. Schrempf stripped by Johnson. And Johnson all the way. Well, he cannot buy one. He has missed his last 9 shot attempts. Foul is called. Foul on Sabalos.
And many of them, he has been looking to the officials for some kind of help here. Even when he gets to the basket wide open as the seas part, and still can't get it to roll in. Big problem for Kevin Johnson over the last 5-6 years has been injuries. Has missed so many games, been hurt so much. Marv, sometimes you just get tired of rehabilitating, and I think that's where Kevin Johnson was when he made that decision to retire. But right now, he is relatively healthy. Other than that bad ankle right now, he's been able to play a lot of games this year, other than the beginning part of the season when the Suns got off to that 0-13 start.
Well, at first it appeared that Sabalos and Payton were upset with each other, and they settled that quickly. 3:07 remaining in this fourth quarter. The Houston Rockets await the winner, and it will take a miraculous turn here by the Phoenix Suns. And now the Sonics are playing the clock. They have the big lead. Phoenix made its run, came within 5. Sabalos on the foul. And team foul number 4 committed by Phoenix. The numbers on Kevin Johnson: 7 for 26. He has shot only 28% for the series. Gary Payton, meanwhile, just 6 of 25, but teammates have come up big. 22 for Schrempf, 21 points for Kemp, 15 apiece for Perkins and Wingate. Foul on Person. Reminder tonight, right here on NBC, you can start it off with an all-new Pretender at a special time at 8, 7 Central, followed by the network premiere of Interview with the Vampire, starring Tom Cruise, Brad Pitt, Antonio Banderas, and Christian Slater. That's tonight, right here on NBC.
Well, it's been the balance again for the Seattle Supersonics. Gary Payton having the bad shooting game, but 10 assists, just 1 turnover. Short Kemp wisely staying out of foul trouble early in the game, able to play big minutes, and a huge lift off the bench from Sam Perkins and David Wingate.
107-87, a 20-point Seattle lead. Swept with the steal. Hawkins able to save it. And again, they'll play the clock. Foul is called. Foul on Johnson. And it looks like it will be Seattle and Houston. As we look at the season series, Rockets won 3 of 4 last year on the way to the championship finals against the Chicago Bulls. Seattle crushed the Rockets in 4 straight and extended their winning streak against Houston to 13 games, the run that began back in April of '93 and that ended in the opener of this season.
And the reason they were so successful that they were able to double team Hakeem Olajuwon so quickly and then rotate out to the shooters where Houston never got it going. The Rockets, as Chapman goes in there for the dunk. The thing that's different this year, Marv, is the different element Charles Barkley brings to the Houston Rockets. Not so much with the three-point shooting when the ball comes out of Olajuwon's hands, but Charles can break the defense down, and that's where the Sonics will have their hands full.
And Hakeem Olajuwon is also confident if they double-team him. As you mentioned, they were very successful with that last season. He feels it's a better club, not only with Barkley, but Mario Elie has been so potent, and the rookie point guard, Matt Maloney, has had a terrific playoff series. Maloney is at 57%.
Well, Matt gets so many open looks because teams have to either double team Charles Barkley, Hakeem Olajuwon, or Clyde Drexler, and he has been shooting the ball very confidently, playing all season long, and his confidence at a very high level at an important time.
How about David Wingate? 17 points, 8 rebounds in 19 minutes. 17 points, a career playoff high. Here's Kidd. And the foul. Sonics lead 109-89 with 2:16 remaining in the game. And looking ahead for the Phoenix Suns, Danny Ainge doing a terrific job taking over from Cotton Fitzsimmons, although he must have been wondering what the heck is going on after the Suns lost their first 5 games and went 0-13, and as we mentioned, 1-14, but they finished very strong, taking 19 of the last 23. Made this series intriguing, taking the Sonics into a 5th and final game. And you know that Jerry Colangelo and Danny Ainge will be looking to make some moves to continue to rebuild this Phoenix franchise.
Well, I'm sure they love this style of play. It's fun to play it. It's very entertaining to watch it. These kinds of games will happen, however. But Danny Ainge was very clear yesterday as Jason Kidd knocked down the, Kevin Johnson knocked down the jump shot. Danny Ainge said the reason that the Suns got off to the bad start is quite evident. No John Hot Rod Williams early and no Kevin Johnson.
Just under 2 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. The celebration has begun here in Seattle. Payton. So Payton with 19 and a timeout called by the Suns. Standing ovation for the Sonics, who will move on to the 2nd round.
Nelson. After 2 disheartening losses, Penny Hardaway's brought Orlando back from the brink with 2 40-plus point games. Now they go for one of the biggest upsets in NBA history. Can Penny and the little guys be giant killers a 3rd straight time? Then it's Pistons, Hawks, and Lakers Jazz. Tripleheader Sunday on NBC.
Back in Seattle, 1:48 remaining. In this fourth quarter, it is now a coronation in terms of this series. The Sonics with a 113-91 lead on the Suns, and George Karl has emptied his bench. Jim McIlvaine has checked in. Phoenix Suns have done the same. Steve Nash came on a moment ago. Lauren Meyer, second-year player from Iowa State, on the floor for the first time. Nash handling. Sabanos for three. Well, Gary Payton finally gets his rest finally taken out. Kevin Johnson may have concluded his NBA career. Kevin Johnson finishes up 20 points, just 10 of 26 from the field. This is Eric Snow, the second-year man from Michigan State, going against the rookie Nash. And Meyer with the rebound. Mike Brown has also checked in for the first time for Phoenix. This is Nash. That was a three-point attempt. And it will be Seattle ball with 1:08 remaining. Don't forget, tomorrow the NBA playoffs continue right here on NBC with a triple-header starting with NBA Showtime, 12 noon Eastern, and then 2 Game 5s back-to-back. Orlando Magic trying to be the giant killer against Pat Riley and the Miami Heat. Then Detroit and Atlanta go against each other. The winner there moves on to face the defending champion Chicago Bulls. And in prime time, the Lakers and the Jazz in Game 1 of their best-of-7 conference semifinals. So a big day of NBA playoffs tomorrow right here on NBC. We're down to 40 seconds to go. Nash off the fake, putting moves on Snow. Here's Brown. And Wingate with yet another rebound. That's rebound number 10 for David Wingate. Greg Graham is fouled.
Well, George Karl has so much faith in Nate McMillan, who has been unable to play and probably won't be able to play in the next series either with a knee injury, but he has to be extremely encouraged by the play of David Wingate because they need some kind of presence off the bench. There's no way that Gary Payton can play every minute, although he played 53 in Game 4 and all but the last 2 here. He is so valuable to this team, but David Wingate, a breath of fresh air for the Sonics off the bench.
116-91 Seattle. And we're down to 20 seconds. Nash, the rookie from Santa Clara, able to dish it to Person, blocked and fouled by McIlvaine. Jim McIlvaine, who has seen very little action in this series. It will be a different story, though, against the Houston Rockets.
He better get warmed up for all those foot fakes and moves of Akeem Olajuwon. I'm sure Terry Cummings will get a look, as well as Sean Campus. A lot of different people will have to try to guard Akeem.
High point men today for the Sonics. Trent with 24. Kemp with 21. 19 apiece for Wingate and Payton. And Person leading the Suns with 26 points. Kevin Johnson did not shoot well. Finishes with 20. Jason Kidd with 17. The ovation for the Sonics as time runs down. And time has run out on the Phoenix Suns. A very tough 5-game series. Won by the Seattle Sonics. The final score, the Sonics 116 and the Suns 92. We'll take a break right here, and when we return, we hope to be chatting with Seattle coach George Karl.
Hey, Carl.
Rashad back in Seattle. I'm joined now with George Karl. And George, when we talked before the game, you were a bit nervous, but those nerves have subsided now, haven't they?
Now we're relieved. There's only 2 things, disappointment and relief in the NBA. We get to be relieved for about 12 hours, then we got to go to work against Houston.
All the turbulence that you've gone through this season, that stopped now and you're moving forward trying to win a championship?
I think mentally we have gained something from this series. I'm not sure Houston gained anything from their series. But I think mentally we're tougher. We know how we have to play. Now, physically, if we can rebound a little bit and get healthier, I think we'll be fine.
All right, congratulations and good luck to you. All right, back to you, Marv.
All right, thanks, Ahmad. George Karl with the normal coach's playoff type voice. You can hear the laryngitis. George has been doing a little screaming. George Karl and the Sonics advance to the second round to face the Houston Rockets. Again, the final, Seattle 116, Phoenix 92 as the Sonics take this fifth and final game of the series. Tonight here on NBC, an all-new Pretender at a special time of 8/7 Central. Then Brad Pitt, Antonio Banderas, and Christian Slater star in the network premiere of Interview with the Vampire. For Matt Kukas and Ahmad Rashad, I'm Marv Albert from Seattle. This has been the NBA on NBC.
The NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, Notre Dame football, the PGA Tour,